Yesterday was the first time we've ever gone to Disney as a family. Luckily, we live about 3.5 hours from there, and Toyota gave us a brand new 2022 Toyota Sienna to load up the family to experience Disney the first time together. So the day after, we have the Disney hangover, and here we are on a nice gloomy day to recollect on yesterday's adventures and to talk about the pros and cons of the all-hybrid Sienna. Last year we reviewed the sportier XSE trim. This year we're in the $54,000 top-of-the-line platinum trim. We'll talk about how this thing is kitted out in this review today. We'll start with the styling. The styling of the new Sienna is interesting. It's eye-catching from every single angle, and I guess that's a good thing. It doesn't, you're not going to mistake it for not a minivan, but it has a unique look styled after the Shinkansen bullet trains in Japan. And those bullet trains are really fast. This vehicle is not really fast, but it is aerodynamic like those bullet trains, and it carries a lot of people like those trains. As we move from the exterior styling, hate it or love it, we're going to move to the interior. And this one has the brown interior. My wife and I, neither of us really like this dark brown interior. There are lighter interior options available, especially in the lesser trims. And this vehicle has like 7 USB chargers in it, which helps it, plug in not only the cameras for this review, plug in iPads, things of that nature as we're traveling throughout this state, especially yesterday when we went to Orlando and back. The cockpit is very driver-centric. The touchscreen is faced towards me. Even the climate control is facing towards me. I have heated and ventilated seat buttons, heated steering wheel on this side. I feel very comfortable, like I'm in command in this driver's seat. This bridge here, it's grown on me over the past year. Don't really like the styling of it because it kind of segments the interior that doesn't need to be, but we used it extensively yesterday. It acts as like a table with a bunch of cup holders, which we actually used all the cup holders at one point yesterday. So it is extremely functional, I'll say that, but it's not the most open floor plan, I guess you could call it that. Now you can see as well, this has a digital rear view mirror, which is completely mandatory if you have the rear entertainment package, because when you fold down the screen back there, it takes the entire mirror. So you can't really see out the back at all if that screen's down. So you actually need the digital rear view mirror, which takes some getting used to. Its biggest perk is when you're at a stoplight, it feels like it's zooming in on the people behind you, and you can like see what they're doing, eating popcorn we saw a guy do yesterday. So it's just funny. I don't like it, but it has its perks. Now the 360 camera is on this platinum trim, and it's unfortunate when you spend over $50K for a vehicle and some of the features just feel like they're 10 years old already, and the 360 camera is just the lowest resolution I think I've ever seen on a 360 camera. So that's unfortunate, especially when you have such modern technology like a digital rearview mirror. You have like 480p top-down view of your car. It is still functional though, even though it looks like garbage. It does a good job of aligning the vehicle with the parking lines, things like that when you have such a large vehicle, but it's unfortunate it's just bad quality. Okay, moving on. This one has the optional rear seat entertainment. It also has a 1500 watt inverter, which I think is an absolute must because it turns your vehicle into a mobile power generator. And for us in Florida, that comes in handy because if we lose power due to a tropical storm or hurricane, we can just run power up to 1500 watts from this vehicle. And earlier this week, I just had the car parked in the driveway and I was making videos, plugged in my laptop, plugged in my cameras. I was making videos from this mobile office. As we get into the gas here, that's pedal down. There's speed limit. So it gets up and goes even with a full load of people in here. It's a little not loud, a little buzzy, but that's the trade-off with this hybrid system where you get 36 miles per gallon. I'm getting 36.3 according to the computers. I get into the brakes here as we come upon a surprise yellow light here. This is where the Sienna has already improved. I don't know what happened with the XSE model I had last year. Maybe it was just early production woes, but the brake feel, especially at low speeds, was awful. It's hard to modulate. It was really touchy, sometimes like non-existent. It was just a strange brake feel. It's completely dialed in here a half production year later, it seems like, in this 2022 model. Ride quality is excellent, even with these large 20-inch wheels, which are actually the same wheels of the XSE model I had last year. They just have like a different finish on them. But yeah, ride quality is still excellent. You mentioned yesterday when we were going over some bumps, you're like, oh, we didn't even feel that, right? So yeah, it's good in here, as you would expect from a large minivan with a long wheelbase. On lower trims, you're going to have even smaller wheels, larger tires, so the comfort in theory could actually improve. Now this Platinum model has a few other things on it. I have a 7-inch MID, which I rarely look at because I'm looking at the pretty good heads-up display instead. It's not necessary. In my buying guide, I said you could, save $10,000 by skipping the Platinum, go with the XLE, and getting the power inverter option. You still get Softex. This does actually have leather on it, but to me, Softex is good enough. This also has hands-free entry for the doors. So if you're holding kids with, I don't know, their bags, book bags, backpacks, groceries, you can kick underneath the side doors. They'll slide open for you. It's a nifty feature that I don't think anyone else is doing right now. Cargo capacity is really good in here. The third row, of course, folds flat into the floor, but the second row is not removable. That's kind of the Achilles heel of this minivan. Minivans need to be, essentially a Swiss Army knife. This one comes really, really close. Just, the second row will fold all the way to the back of the front row. Just not the same sort of functionality on the ultimate end of the scale in terms of cargo capacity. Safety features are good, of course. Standard is Toyota Safety Sense, radar cruise control, lane keep assist, lane departure alert, all that good stuff. Use it extensively on the highways, the freeways. There's no panoramic roof option on the new Sienna. Again, that's kind of hard to take, especially when you're spending so much money on this top of the line at $54K. It would be nice to have that additional light into the cabin here. There's also no spare tire in the vehicle. There's a little pump back there to inflate your potentially deflated tire. But yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow for me, as I have a spare tire on my old Sienna. And you can get the Sienna, of course, in front wheel drive or all-wheel drive. This one, being a Florida sample, is front wheel drive. All-wheel drive will charge you about $1,600 more. Could be definitely worth it depending on where you live. The rear seat entertainment is an easy recommendation not to get. It's still just so difficult to work with. I bought an Amazon Fire Stick and it takes forever just to wait for it to load up. You have to tether it to your phone. I ran out of data. It sapped like 10 gigabytes of data within like 4 hours of streaming Disney movies on the way to Disney. So maybe if you have unlimited data and unlimited patience, because it takes like 5 minutes every time you get into the car just to set up and play a show. Your best option is maybe to have an HDMI cord coming from your phone, or just a small portable DVD player that is just taking up space and you have cords hanging out of it in the back. So yeah, as there's no Blu-ray player in here, there's no DVD player in here, like on some of its competitors, and there's no built-in apps to the screen. There's no Netflix or Disney added in there, so it's unfortunate. If you want to get some new Kindle Fires or iPads for your kids, that's a better investment because they can take that anywhere with them. It's not exclusive to the car. So like I said earlier, the van's very quiet and smooth. 3 out of the 4 girls are asleep right now. We're all tired, still tired from Disney, and so it's a good time to sum up the 2022 Sienna. Well, at the time of this recording, they're very difficult to get right now due to production and supply issues. Try to place an order for your Sienna. Try not to spend over $45K. I don't think it's worth it, especially when this vehicle is being, advertised as a fuel saver. So, buy an affordable version of this car to maximize your gas savings, as you're going to be, getting 35 plus miles per gallon in this vehicle, which is definitely an amazing, the strongest feature to the new Sienna for sure. And even though it has a 4-cylinder, as long as it's not being pushed 100%, it's still pretty quiet and smooth. Like we said, the ride quality in here is good. The brakes are way more dialed in than they were with the 2021 model year that I reviewed last year. The screen is, it's based off the old Toyota software, but you just get to Android Auto, you're good to go, or Apple CarPlay. The two biggest weaknesses of this vehicle being the non-removable second row, lack of Panoramic Roof. Get over that. I can also somewhat forgive the 360 camera for being potato quality, because it still gets the job done even though it's ugly to look at. Overall, the new Sienna is excellent and Really the only thing I want more from Toyota at this point from the Sienna would be a plug-in hybrid minivan. All they need to do is put in the RAV4 Prime hybrid setup into this vehicle. The problem is that vehicle is made in Japan, this vehicle being made in Indiana, so those parts are just not going to be shipped overseas. It needs to be produced here locally, and the battery plant that's going to be built in North Carolina for Toyota won't be coming online until 2025. So we're probably at least 3 to 4 years out at this point from having a Prime Sienna would be my guess, and that's just too long for my liking. It would suit the needs of my family perfectly, and yes, it would jack up the price of this vehicle. I mean, you're probably looking $60,000 at that point for a platinum plug-in hybrid, but anyways, that's all hypothetical. What we have right now is extremely fuel efficient minivan, very functional for 99% of people out there that don't need to take out that second row of seats, and it accommodates all the needs of my family and more, at least at this point in time. So I'm going to end it there. See you guys down in the comments below about the 2022 platinum Toyota Sienna. If you enjoyed today's video, I'd appreciate a like button, smash, we're still tired, and subscribe for more Toyota, Lexus, all Japanese auto reviews, as well as Korean auto news and reviews as well. See you in the next one. Peace out.